Welcome to the game analysis of game number 4 of the No Castling World Masters played at the Sparkassen Chess Trophy 2021 in Dortmund between Vladimir Kramnik and Viswanathan Anand. I'm happy to have again Vladimir himself here to have a look at the game, and also Nenad Tomasev from DeepMind, who gives us the AlphaZero opinion on the most interesting positions on the game. In this fourth game, Vladimir had the white pieces and was in a must-win situation in terms of the match, because Vichy was leading 2-1, and so Vladimir had to win to equalize the match. So that is a reason for some of the decisions made in this game, as Vladimir will explain us surely. So in the opening, we saw again this first c4, but again something very different from the first 3 games, because Anand played some terms of a Tarrasch opening, yeah?
Yeah, I would just say if we come back to c4, because my plan was, I tell you what I wanted to play against c5, which was, the first 3 games. I all of a sudden, I realized that I can play g3. That was I wanted to play. And then in case of e6, for example, bishop g2, d5, d3, I get the same position with extra tempo, like in game 3, yeah?
Okay.
And then c d5, d5, h4, knight h3. So that was my preparation. I said, okay, why not play? I like this position, and now I have some experience in it already, and I'm up. But suddenly, Vishev played e6 here, and
played this Tarrasch opening, which is not a regular guest on the top level of chess, I think, in normal chess, but here in No Castling it seemed very interesting.
Yes, and of course bishop e6 or knight f6. Vishy told me after the game that it probably leads to the same, more or less to the same. I haven't really checked it. I know that g3 is a very logical way of playing this position. That I checked a bit, but I saw that since it was played before g3, yes, and maybe I have a chance to develop without this fianchetto, just trying to develop the bishop and then e3. And frankly, yes, here I like my position, but Vishy was quite well prepared here. But for me, it was totally new position, and I didn't really get it. I have to admit at the end of the day that I didn't play it correctly. Because here, all of a sudden, I started to realize that I don't really have a plan. I mean, Black just wants to play knight f6, bishop e6, king e7, rook e8, rook c8, very logical moves, and I couldn't really find anything convincing which I was happy about. So that's why I decided to play this very strange way. Very strange play what I did, and I didn't like it so much. I knew it's not great, but at least I thought it would lead to a bit strange position. But it was wrong. It was completely wrong. But it was done just because I didn't really like. I didn't see what to do, how to play for a win. Otherwise.
Okay. So interesting at first is that the idea here is to play king e7, rook e8, because we are always wondering in this no casting chess what to do with our kings. So here, this is the idea. But Nenad, what does AlphaZero say to this position? What is his try for white? Oh, Nenad is gone. So maybe he will come back in a minute. For
that, I can tell you just my thoughts, because I was thinking, well, let's say I could take dc5, bishop5, bishop d3, logical way, like in Queen's Gambit, knight f6. But then, yes, Black just wants, first of all, I have to watch out for d4, but also he just wants king e7, rook e8, king f8, and then it's difficult. I know, in a way, I understand what is Black's next, but I don't understand what is White next, because, I can try to do the same, king e2, followed by rook e1. I didn't like that at some point Black will just play d4 and just basically equalize the position, which would probably lead to a draw.
Yeah, and so this is a pretty normal position if the kings were here on g1 and g8, and then Black...
I also was not sure if after bishop d3, knight f6, king e2, if Black cannot just play d4 immediately on move 10.
Okay.
Because I guess for AlphaZero, it's equally maybe okay, king e7 or d4, but I didn't like the chance, quite a realistic chance that the game will end in sterilization and kind of quickly dead draw position. So that's why I decided to play this knight g5, which is not great, but at least it keeps the game complicated. That was my plan.
Yeah. Okay, since Nenad has some connection problems, I will just tell you that AlphaZero says here that the black is already better after this knight g5 idea, just what Vladimir told us. And yeah, after this bishop d3 move, it's a tiny bit better for white, but not much, as Vladimir told. And yeah, after this knight g5, knight f6 was a good move.
My idea was that after taking on e6 and bishop d3, white has a certain, I had no doubt it's not great for white, but white has a certain potential with two bishops and certain attack. Let's say if king f7, for example, yeah, let's say if black wants to play king f7, rook e8, maybe even g4 can be g4, g5.
Okay.
So that was my idea. Yeah, I wanted to play some sharp and non-standard position. Yeah, but unfortunately, it's just not good for white. And bishop d6, yeah, is very good move, especially in the sense when you need a draw to win a match. And then I realized that I just don't have any constructive idea to play for a win this position. And
so AlphaZero wants to try a rook c1 here.
Yeah, definitely. That was my one of the ideas. But then I didn't like, even if simply black, whatever, he can do anything. Of course, even what AlphaZero says is good. Rook c8 and h6, perfectly fine. But even in a more human, simple way, what I didn't like if black can just take on f4, bishop f4, e4, play king f7, rook e8, and e5. And okay, probably white would go king f1 and rook e8, e5, and I mean black is just very comfortably fine. Yeah, very comfortable position, easy to play, and probably there is little chance white can try anything real, yeah, in this position. So that's why I wanted to make it a bit more complicated and played bishop g3, but that's already said. Yeah, I mean, that's already out of desperation. At least the idea is that after exchanging bishop, my rook can get via h4, some h line. But that is definitely, I had no doubt that black is already slightly better in this position.
So Nenad is back. What is AlphaZero's opinion in this position? Does it agree with Vladimir?
Yeah, AlphaZero thinks I should get a better internet for sure. But as far as chess goes, yeah, he didn't like bishop g3 really. I mean, he thought that black had a slight advantage even before the move, not seriously, but like a little an edge. And he thought that rook c1 was the right way to play there and to allow potentially for an exchange on f4. Yeah, but after bishop g3, just that doesn't like that. And obviously the game continues, and it even felt like it's not a big difference but then maybe doing queen b6 here like as a slightly more way of playing could have been maybe like even better, just putting some pressure on b2.
So this is the main line, but we saw similar ideas in the game too. Vichy only played king e7 first, which also was a decent move, I guess.
And here I remember I just didn't know what to do. I couldn't. I thought maybe I can get g4, g5, rook h4, some strange way of playing, but it just doesn't work. And then white, basically, what objectively white has to try to do is to play very solid. Basically, the line which AlphaZero gives, that would be normally what I would play: queen d2, knight e2, and try to slowly equalize in a slightly worse position, and maybe 30 more moves to make a draw. But
but you had to win or to try to win, so you did not want to play. So I
started to do things which I didn't like, but what to do at least. So more or less what I started to do is just to bluff.
Okay. Very interesting here again, this h5 move played by Vishy Anand. We saw that in a lot of games, and AlphaZero agrees and thinks that's a great move. Stopping this g4 ideas from Vladimir. For now, because we saw it later on. Rook d1, knight e5, bishop c2, queen b6, and AlphaZero says that black is better, And after this bishop b3, rook d8, we already discussed that AlphaZero says queen d2, Nenad?
Yeah, but like again, as we've already discussed, these are somewhat sad positions that arise. So AlphaZero thinks this is the best, but it just doesn't seem like a very pleasant try to hold.
So this is just easier to play with black, and white will never win this position.
That's the point. I mean, during the game, I understood that queen d2 is definitely the best move, followed by queen d4. But there is zero chance for white to win this position, and even is a bit worse, still to play very accurate to save it. Yes, so that was not an option. I decided rook d4. It's terrible. It's bad. It's losing by force probably, but I don't care already. So I tried to make murky waters with rook h4. I had zero doubt that it's bad, but just wanted to try my luck, and actually I almost succeeded. Because made some mistakes and things got at some point very interesting already.
I really like the moves AlphaZero is saying here. Maybe Nenad, you can show us.
Yeah, I mean, I guess even on the previous move, right? Instead of knight c6, it's kind of interesting that, I mean, it's attractive to try to attack the rook when it goes to an exposed position, right? And to think about potentially pushing the opponent at some point. But AlphaZero here wants to play queen c7 instead, which is a bit more mysterious, I suppose.
Okay.
And he just wants to get b5 and just, I mean, what AlphaZero is saying here, and that is what I, with a horror, I realized during the games, that I have zero play. Actually, I don't have any plan. Even if rook d4, rook h4, I still have zero threat and zero play. So AlphaZero also managed to notice in the
I think from a human point of view, AlphaZero likes queen c7 more than knight c6, but Vishy was okay with a draw. So if you go back, he can just repeat and has won the match. So and after this rook h4 move, then this knight c6 was pretty strong, because now there was a nice idea for black. AlphaZero shows us with this queen c5 move.
One of the moves I was curious how am I going to face to play, after that move. Probably I would go king f1 or something, but white's position is bad, because his play is definitely not in time.
So the idea is to play d4 in a nice moment, and
but also 95 is very good, because I almost forces me to play g4, which is probably losing by force, unless I want to play rook d4 and make a draw. But so it's, in this sense, it's good. Here it was a bit mysterious moment, because after g4, I thought that actually knight fg4. That's interesting. This AlphaZero showing knight fg4 is winning, but that's not a trivial line. I mean,
no, okay. He shows that knight takes g4, rook h5, rook f8, attacking on f2.
I mean, I guess because of course f4 is a critical move here. Just trying to take the knight, but I guess it's losing by force. Somehow, maybe d4 or something, but that already requires some technical skills, because otherwise it doesn't seem clear at all, humanly. I don't know. I guess it's bad for white, but I mean, that was my plan after rook h5, rook f8, f4, and try my luck, because but I guess it doesn't work.
Okay.
And anyway, for black, of course, he doesn't want to get this murky, things if he needs a draw. But in any case, g5 was simple, and black is better, of course, much better.
I mean, you discussed that both after the game already, that you both said that g5 would have been the move here for black, So,
but after rook takes h5, takes, I mean, at least situation is very unstandard. Maybe it's a strange position, and there is always a chance, like f4, knight f7. The situation gets a bit murky, a bit tricky, humanly again, for human. So I thought, okay, I should give it a try, and who knows, maybe I'll be lucky.
Yes, but AlphaZero, gives exactly this variation is best for both sides, and says that black is winning to 87%. So that's a huge advantage here for black, as the engine says here. So, you already discussed after the game, that knight e takes g4 was not a good move, because you had now this rook takes h5, rook takes h5.
Of course, black is still okay playing knight h6, but that's situation already had improved dramatically. I think we should have missed something here in some tactic, and but that is okay. That's already a game, and probably more or less equal position. It's a dream compared to what they had. But Vishy calculated this very long line, and it was pretty, I would say, tricky, because looks terribly dangerous, this line. But I think that we should just made it till a draw, basically calculated it till a draw, which is in a way quite remarkable, because it's not easy to calculate it all. But since he needed a draw, I think he calculated it all, and I was quite impressed because it doesn't look funny after 93 rook b5, but it seems to work. Everything works by tempi, and it seems to be a forced draw here.
Yeah. Then AlphaZero agrees and says you played perfectly until the end. We can show that in a minute. Maybe, okay, Net e3, Vishy calculated that until the draw, but what does AlphaZero say here in this position? Who is better after this knight h6 move?
I think that both there and previously, it wanted to play this and thinks Black has a slight plus and prefers that to some of the other simplifications. So that was just an interesting alternative.
But a very slight plus. I mean, more or less equal. And in any case, when you need a draw, of course, if you, 93, if you calculate it all till a draw, that's the move you should play in such tournament situation. It's just that very few people in the world are capable of calculating it all to the end to play 93, but Vishy seems to be definitely one of them.
Okay, we can show that because that was a dramatic finish of the match, and for the viewers, that was a great finish here with rook g5, d4, takes king f8, and what did you think here during the game, Vladimir?
I was getting very excited. I also didn't see a win, but it's already I saw that I shouldn't lose at least, and I'm getting some chances. But more and more, I was trying to calculate variations. Well, it's very, very tiny. Black has only moves all the time, but it always works. And I couldn't find what to do because and it was everything was correct because here. Instead of dc3, I thought there was some kind of trap. It was a nice variation if Black plays king f7 here. It was a nice way. Rook takes f6 check. At least that's what I saw during the game. I don't know if it's correct or not. Knight e4 check. And now if king goes somewhere to e7, I can just take the knight on e3. But the critical move is king e5. Then I thought I have queen h5 check here. King takes e4. Now I thought there was mate. No, sorry. Instead of queen h5 check, I think I can just take on e3 And now after king takes d3, king e4, queen f3 check. And if king e5, queen f4 mate. And if king d3 here, e4 mate. That is quite beautiful.
That's beautiful,
E is simple but beautiful. But so that I saw. But after dc3, I saw that maybe Vishy maybe Vishy have missed queen d4, queen f3 move. And that. But of course he hadn't missed anything, and queen d4 is only way.
Only move.
But everything just works perfectly by tempis because.
Because Black has threats himself here.
Because after fe, there is queen d2 check, and at minimum there is a draw, but there is something even more than draw. At minimum, I saw there is queen d1, rook d2, and queen e1 check, which gives perpetual. But I think there is something even better than
this one. And
queen e1. Queen e1, and after king h3, queen h1, and king h2, queen h4. So I cannot. I can probably lose it. And if king f4 here, and if king f4. Then rook f2 at minimum, just simply taking.
That's easy,
So basically, after queen d4 seems that everything there is forced, and after king f1 move, cb is probably only move, to save the game, but it saves, So
after the rook f6, king d7,
rook f7, fe, and now queen d2, king f1, and somehow for some reason, I thought. Only c2 and but after cb2 I saw that maybe there are some ways to mate while playing rook takes h5 very long ago, but no, it's just a perpetual.
So you have to take the perpetual we saw in the game with queen g4, queen e6, and Black cannot go out of the check, so Black cannot win, but neither white does, and the match ended with this nice game in the draw and in a win for Vishy. So your conclusion on the match, Vladimir and Nenad?
Well, my conclusion that it's, of course, many more matches, so tournaments should be played. We will slowly, players will slowly understand more about this game, about the keen safety in no castle chess. And I'm very interested to play. I mean, I definitely understood quite something only by playing those 4 games, but very, very far from the level of understanding we have in regular chess. Because it's very interesting. I'm happy that the result, I think quite a lot was influenced by the first game, which I lost, and then I had to play a bit maybe too more aggressive and a bit too aggressive I played than I should normally. But in any case, I'm happy that we had very a lot of interesting games, interesting moments, and it's just the first step in hopefully a long future of no castle chess, of investigating typical ideas and understanding what how to deal with your king in this no castle chess. So all in all, I'm very happy with the experience.
I mean, I would say from my perspective as a spectator, it was very entertaining. I was very happy to see the games unfold, and having the opportunity to analyze them as they were going on with AlphaZero really added a little bit of extra flavor. I guess what it allows us to do is simply expand our minds a bit and look at some of these alternative ideas later on as to how to develop, how to position, how to approach, setting up the pieces and the king. And I think like over these 4 games, we've seen some interesting ideas from the machine as well.
Okay. So thank you for your support in the analysis, and I think everything is said. We enjoyed the match very much and hope to see more of this no castle chess, and hopefully see you both next year in Dortmund as well. So
and just the last thing I wanted to add at the end. So I would really like to thank the DeepMind company and Nenad and people behind AlphaZero, because actually. Because of this no castle, all other regular engines, first of all, they're weaker than AlphaZero, and secondly, they're not so useful, because of this for the beginning stage of the game and actually to understand what to do. So basically, AlphaZero can advance our understanding of no castle chess a lot. So it's a kind of unique tool at the moment. AlphaZero of actually understanding and analyzing games, and of course they made a lot of help actually to make this match happen and to make this variant of chess be played in practice. So thanks a lot.
No, I think that it has been purely ours, and there's been a lot of cross creativity between the human and the machine part. I guess it's also just worth adding as a conclusion, as we are talking about how these systems can be used, that for something like no casting chess, I do believe probably in the openings it may understand things a bit better because it has played a lot of games against itself, and there are slightly different types of positions from the ones in classical chess. But on the other hand, also for some of the other chess variants we looked at there, once you go a little bit beyond even what is really classical, that's where you really need something like AlphaZero to try to prototype, right? Because for no casting chess, even if tools like Stockfish maybe don't necessarily evaluate some of the first moves perfectly, right? Then they would still be very tactically correct because it's still ultimately classical chess without castling. So they can do the calculations. And once you start going further in your exploration of what is possible in chess-like games, in chess variants, this is where it gets harder and harder to rely on something that's been hand-built over years and decades of experience.
And I must add just at the end that we have many other variants on stock, in the pipeline. So it's just the first one, and there are many other very interesting variants, which, with the help of AlphaZero, with the help of DeepMind, we can try to, implement and try to show for chess public, which hopefully we will do soon after.
All right. So thank you. And for you viewers, just use the comments to tell us your experiences with your no castling chess. Maybe you played in our online open. So just write in the comments, what do you think about these new chess variants after this great match between Vladimir and Viswanathan? So thank you, and see you at another location. Thanks.
Thank you very much. All the best.
Thank you.